the idea behind all this stuff is called flag theory. It was originally developed by Harry Brown in the 50s. If you don't know who he is, search for him on my website. I did a big article on his book, which was a massive influence on me. It was popularized by Tim Ferriss, another big influence on me. As you can see, a revolutionary lifestyle design. He invented that term. Um, when I think I was 25 when the book came out, and the idea was you could just build an online business and go live in Southeast Asia. And that was around when like the movie The Beach was out, and it stuck with me, and I eventually did it. 8 years later or whatever it was. Um, just a revolutionary idea that you could do that, and perfected by my man Andrew Henderson of nomadcapitalist.com. That is the guy. That's my go-to guy on all this stuff. And Andrew describes the 5 flags of freedom as: number one, passport or citizenship in a country that does not tax non-resident income or control your actions. Number two, legal residence in a tax haven. Number three, business base and salary earning in a tax haven. Number four, offshore bank account in a country with stable banking. Number five, playgrounds where you spend your money, preferably with no sales tax or VAT. Okay. And all those things are all to the good, but it's not for everyone. Okay. Sad to say, the first people I would rule out, okay, you got to be over 25. I've seen too many guys come out here and crash. Had one guy suicide, unfortunately. Young guy, actually had his own self-improvement blog. Very easy to get lost out here, very easy to blow through your money a lot faster, very easy to get in trouble get the wrong girl in your life. You know, some guys are going to get in trouble with drugs and or crash your motorcycle. It's sunny every day. The beer's cheap. Real hard for a young guy to be disciplined and stay inside every single day and work hard. At least that's what I see from the young guys coming out. That's why I say don't come out unless you're 25. Number two, upper middle income. This means for at least the last 6 months, you've had consistent income to put you in the upper middle class of your new country. For Asia, that's at least 2K a month. And I'd want to see you have, number three, a solid financial safety net. I'd want you to have at least 20 grand before you come out, which in Thailand, will get you about a year. Ideally, though, I'd want you to have 100 grand. Okay. What I tell everyone, for you to be able to get comfortable, I think it's 100 grand a year and 100 grand in the bank before you can really start to feel comfortable. And you should be grinding really hard till you get to that point. Number four, solid psychological foundation. No recent history of major depression or anxiety. It's not going to be the antidote. If anything, once the high wears off of being out here and you're away from your family and friends, and could actually accelerate, you falling into a depressed state. Now, depression is under your control. I don't believe in depression. Okay, I believe that you have control of your moods. But if you've had a history of going into that pattern, and you're young, it's not the place for you to be. Number five, you have to have a burning desire for business success. Most guys say it. Most guys talk the talk. That when I tell them, do 250 cold calls a day, sell for 12 hours a day, they're not willing to go that far. Okay, or whatever their business is, first year in business, do 15 hours work a day, real work, not research, to where you can really get that money up. Most guys don't have that consistency, that discipline, at least 99%. Okay, but if you match all those requirements, world is yours. So my experience, I've got a better quality of life in Chiang Mai than I did in Canada since I've been here. I left when I was 32. I'm 36, turning 37 in a few months. Before that, I'd been to US, Mexico, nowhere else. Moved straight to Chiang Mai, didn't look back. Been to Laos, been to Malaysia, been to Burma, Hong Kong, going to the Philippines, Um, had a blast. You know, outside of the fact that I'm a workaholic and force myself to work all the time, the actual experience of being out here, it's been a blast. It's also been that work effort has paid off for me significantly. Best decision that I made was coming out here. Because my original plan was just keep stacking cash in Canada, then move to Arizona or something when I was 37, which would be this year. But the reality is, it's not easy, even as a Canadian, to get into America. Secondly, I would have been in Canada for longer than I needed to be, and I wouldn't have been able to work on my business full time. And now I've been able to start another business that's working. So none of those would have been possible while I was still working my sales job in Canada and doing my business on the side. Um, I mean, it's been one of the best decisions I made in my life. But you don't have to move to Asia, okay? If you're American, if I was American, I don't know if I would have left. I probably would, like if you're in New York, where you're spending 5 grand a month, you can go to like a mid-sized town in Florida and probably pay the same that I do in Chiang Mai. Because I pay for, most of the buildings aren't at a really high standard of living. So you pay extra for that. And I pay extra for the food delivery and the high quality Western food. Smaller mid-sized town in Florida, it's decent. You know, you can get a decent little condo. No state tax there. You know, go from spending 5 grand a month to 2 grand a month, no problem. And build your business up from there. Um, so my experience has been a tremendous positive. Okay. That being said, there's still a lot of frustrations, and there's a lot of things that I should have done before I left that I'm still doing now. I've got a good handle on it, but there's taxes in your home country, taxes in your new country, incorporation, visas to permanent residencies to second citizenships, getting tax IDs, getting bank accounts, getting a business incorporated and a business bank account, which is more of a fucking headache than you would believe. And deciding to use your personal tax ID versus your business tax ID. A lot of countries, like if you want to get bank accounts in Australia or something, because they're safe banks, they're going to want to know where you pay taxes. They're going to want to see your tax ID. They're going to want to know your story, and you're going to have to, do some explaining why you live in Malaysia, but you want accounts in Australia, and you've got a business in, Hong Kong and Georgia. Okay. This stuff is as complicated as anything I've ever researched. And whenever you think you know something, you've got it, you'll find another little thing that you need to know, and it just goes on for what seems like forever. Okay. And most quote unquote digital nomads don't talk about taxes because, one, they don't make any money except for the courses they sell to other wannabe nomads. And as you know, the way to get rich is not mining for gold, it's selling panhandles in the gold rush. Okay. And number two, they don't pay taxes. All right. And I live in the quote unquote digital nomad capital of the world. You don't want anything to do with that. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. You're not coming over here as you're aspiring to be that. You're coming over because you're an entrepreneur and you want to go where you're treated best, able to make the most money, highest quality of living, all that good stuff. Okay. So my advice is to go pro from the get-go. The biggest mistake I made in the last 5 years wasn't going pro from day one. I promise you the structure, if you want to do everything right and get all your ducks in a row, is more complicated than you think. I've been researching for at least 5 years now, and I still keep learning new things. And it's a nightmare of a labyrinth. Okay. The last couple months, on the tail end of doing this stuff for 5 years, some days I was just doing 12 hours a day, making sure that I've got the best options for myself and all the things that I need to know.